Hey guys, just finished watching Gifted, boxed in season 1, episode 5. This episode was pretty interesting. It was pretty different. I mean, the last episode I think it was a little bit more, was a bit better episode, obviously with the whole like convoy trying to take that down and stuff. And this episode was kind of interesting. I mean, there wasn't anything. There was no more goal. I mean, the goal obviously in the last episode was to try and get Polaris and Reed out of custody and stuff like that, out of prison and stuff from the convoy. And this episode was kind of interesting, dealing with kind of trying to go after and get away from the Sentinel services, and trying to hide from them and stuff like that, and avoid them and send them off on a different path and stuff. And then seeing them playing with Jace Turner's head and stuff, and playing with him. It was kind of interesting to do that. We had like Dreamer doing her thing to her and to him and stuff, and taking the memories, and now he doesn't remember that his daughter died 4 years ago and all that stuff. I think that was quite an interesting idea, and I keep on at the end of this episode. It reminded me. I started thinking, what if Gifted? What if they came in contact too with what's his face from the other show, Legion? I know this is not connected or anything like that, but wow, that would be mind bending, as if Legion was walked into the Gifted safe house type thing. It'd be definitely interesting to see that. I mean, I don't know how they would be able. I just don't know if they wouldn't be able to help him as much as he gets helped and stuff on the other show and stuff. I mean, they don't have many, they don't have anyone who's able to go through their mind or anything like that. So it would be interesting as if he came around, but he would be kind of more of a, it would almost be a mutant that, like him, would be someone that they would be like, yeah, sorry, you're too dangerous. We can't have you risk you here type thing. So it is interesting having different characters around here. There's this one guy I keep on seeing. I can't think of the guy's name, but he's like all black, and he has like that shattered look and the one white eye type thing. He looks interesting. It doesn't show who he is here on IMDb, but I mean, I'd like to see who he is if he ends up being someone. I mean, I'd love to see what his powers are. And it was interesting playing with the different stuff and the different things that Polaris did, with her powers and stuff. And I like how they're constantly using their powers. But I'd like to see how I'd like to see how powerful they really are. I mean, when Polaris was throwing like the rebar at the cars, it was interesting and stuff, but why not just take all their guns again and just throw them away type thing? I think that would have been really interesting to see, just all of their guns just, go away and stuff. I think that would have been quite fun, maybe. What she should have done, and what I would have done, is instead of distracting them, throwing the rebar, taking all their trucks and throwing and pulling them towards the wall, and placing all of their cars one on top of each other as a barrier between them and the wall, and kind of fusing them, together type thing. Would have been quite interesting to see that. So it was an interesting episode, dealing with the whole, dealing with everything, I mean, you had Polaris and Eclipse in the car trying to avoid the drone and stuff, and then you had all the different things going on with that, and you had the Strucker family and the mother and the kids dealing with the guy who got shot, the invisible guy. It's interesting that they have two different guys that can go invisible. To see if there's any differences between the two, the one guy with the mustache and long hair there who hates Reed, he didn't, what is his name? I think if they say his name here, takes Fade type thing, they call him, tax Fade. He's interesting because he can actually change the car. He's able to drive a car and make the whole car invisible type thing. Can the other guy, the black guy, can he, the one who got shot there, can he change his skin color type thing? I would have been interested to see that. I mean, he can change his skin color, but can he make other things go invisible? Because it was an interesting episode, and interesting that everyone can do things, and how Laura and Strucker did use her powers to hold the blood, and as her mother sewed the guy back up. But the one thing I was interested about that was that when she stopped letting go of her powers, is the guy just bleeding inside? I mean, if he has a vein inside of him or an artery bleeding, and she just sew his skin shut, he's still bleeding on the inside. He's got internal bleeding. I didn't understand that, how how they didn't explain that well, that, you know, now he's okay, you know, but he still has internal bleeding. Like, that's worse, you know, it's just going to keep bleeding, you know. It didn't make sense to me, all that. And it was also disappointing that there was no mutant that had healing powers or taking away the pain or something like that. I mean, there was that one mutant that Reed came into contact to when he first met the long-haired face invisible guy, when he was driving him to the place and stuff. There was that woman and that son and stuff, and she kind of healed him in last week's episode or something. So it would have been nice to see, you know, did they make it to this place, and couldn't she help with her powers heal this guy who got shot? I think that would have been interesting. Like, that should have happened. I don't know, to see the limit of her powers, you know, find out more details about that, you know. It is an interesting place. I kind of wish that, I'm waiting for the episode. Probably it's going to be last episode now, I'm thinking about it, but to see them to get rated, you know, and then to see everyone's powers, because that's what I really want to see. There's so many different characters in this show. I'd like to see everyone's powers. Now, I don't need to see, you know, learn all about them, learn everyone's personality and, you know, backstory on every single person, you know, and learn character development on every single one. I just want to see everyone's powers, you know. I don't care what they, who they are, what they think, or anything like that. I just want to see all their powers, and I think it would be quite interesting to see some of them, see what the different versions and different powers are. So it is pretty interesting with the trailer for next week's episode, talking a bit more about the X-Men and stuff, and it would be cool to see if we get an X-Men in here. If I'm not mistaken, Stephen Moyer, who plays Reed Strucker, is actually married to Anna Paquin, you know, who played Rogue in the movie. So if this is in the same movie, it was done by Bryan Singer, it would be cool as if they did that. Maybe for season 2, you know, Bryan Singer and Reed and Steve Moyer could both be like, hey, don't you want to come, you know, join us for an episode or two? I think that would be a cool idea. Maybe even join a season or something. I'm not sure if I think I have seen her on trailers for a show out there, but I don't know how busy she is with that show or anything like that. So it would be fun to see her on here, since I haven't seen her in any movies or anything like that. So I think she could definitely should be available for it, but we'll have to wait and see. So it is quite interesting. I definitely can't wait to see where things go with this. With all the stuff that gets on here and how things continue on, and see where things are going to go. Because now that they've gotten everyone out of prison, it doesn't seem like there's any set of a goal to kind of accomplish anymore, which is kind of nice because there's nothing that has to be done. But it's also, you know, you still want something to look forward to, like something to, there's things are going to build up, things are going to get worse and stuff. But there's nothing. It wasn't just the ending of this episode wasn't really a cliffhanger. I mean, it was a little bit interesting with the, you know, what's his face forgetting his daughter died and stuff. But other than that, it was really little. It wasn't really as impactful as other episodes, you know, when, you know, like the first episode where Reed Strucker doesn't make it through the portal and things like that, and all the different things that they failed and stuff. So it is interesting to see where things go with this. But I'd like to see a little bit more for the endings and stuff, and also like to see a few more, you know, comic known characters we know from the X-Men mythos type of thing. So we'll have to wait and see where things go with this, but I think I definitely like where things are going. Just not as big of an episode as the other episodes have been. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below, about season 1, episode 5, boXed in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.